And we are back with another picks and predictions video for UFC 317, Topuria versus Oliveira. And after Khalil Roundtree dominated Jamal Hill for 5 rounds, that extended our win streak in terms of picking main events to 12 weeks in a row. I haven't lost since March. So let's look to extend that into 13. Now let's get straight into the first fight of the night. In the middleweight division, 2 UFC debuts. We are going on to the big boys where we have Jhonata Diniz set the face off against Alvin Hines. Alvin is stepping up on short notice, and it's going to be a tough out for him, I think. I think Jhonata beats him early. Alvin's game plan is quite simple. Go in there, wrestle, and hope to get Jhonata on the ground. Jhonata has no threat off his back whatsoever. However, his game plan is very obvious. Jhonata, if his takedown defense holds up, which I think it does, his striking is leaps and bounds ahead of Alvin, and I think he puts Alvin out in the first round, or even early second. I believe this fight doesn't last a round and a half, but no bet on it. I think Jhonata wins. The pick is Jhonata, no bet on the fight. Next up, we're going to the welterweights where we have Niko, the hybrid price, set to face off against Jacobe Smith. And this is quite easy. The UFC is laying up Jacobe Smith to get it done. He can win anywhere the fight goes because his stand-up, as he showed in his last fight, he has a lot of power. Niko gets caught quite easily. And as Niko showed in his fight against Denver Garimbo, he's susceptible to being taken down at will. Jacobe, if he wants to stand, he can land the strike. If he gets caught, he can go to the wrestling. I believe he takes Niko down at will, pounds his head in, and gets a first or second round stoppage. But I believe it's going to be a first round stoppage. Next up, we're going to the lightweights where we have Terrance T-Rex Mckinney set to face off against Viacheslav Borschev. And this one is a tough one to pick, and I highly recommend you stay away from it in terms of betting because it can go one of two ways. Terrance Mckinney can actually just go in there and run straight through Viacheslav Borschev. Or Terrance tries to just do stand-up, use no wrestling whatsoever. Viacheslav uses his good stand-up fighting skills to negate the early onslaught and catch Terrance Mckinney in the later half of the fight. I think Terrance's pressure is going to be a lot for Viacheslav. I hope Terrance Mckinney implements a more patient game plan and doesn't use out all his cardio. I also hope he uses the wrestling a bit more because Borschev has a significant weakness there. I think Terrance should get it done. Hopefully, he goes in with a smart game plan to get it done, but no bet on the fight. Next up, we're going to the female flyweight division where we have Viviane Araujo set to face off against Tracy Cortez. Viviane coming off a really nice win against Karine Silva, where she showed if you're going in there to take Viviane down, you're gonna have an unsuccessful night. Fortunately, Tracy Cortez is a scrappy fighter. I think she wills her way to a decision victory on this one, but don't want to stay too long on it because no bet is on this fight. Next up, we're going to the featherweights, and I do got a bet for this one. We have Hyder, the Hurricane Amil, set to face off against Jose Delgado. Hyder Amil, 35 years of age, 5'9", 70-inch reach. And Jose Delgado, 27 years old, 5'11", with a 73-inch reach. So he has a 2-inch height advantage as well as a 3-inch reach advantage. He's also a much younger fighter. I think Jose manages to keep the fight standing and get the better of Hyder Amil there. Hyder Amil's game plan, he is going to try to wrestle. He's going to try to mix it up with Jose Delgado, but hopefully we can say Jose show off some really, really good takedown defense and just pick him apart in the striking. Pick and the play is going to be Jose Delgado to get it done. Next up, we're going back to the middleweights where we have Jack the Joker Hermansson set to face off against Gregory, Robocop Rodrigues, and I really like the side of Gregory Rodrigues here. Jack Hermansson, he tends to excel more as the fight goes on. And that benefits him in 5-round fights. Unfortunately for him, it's a 3-round fight. Gregory Rodrigues, yes, he showed a bad gas tank in his fight against Jared Cannonier, but in 3-round fights, I think he excels. I think he's going to be mindful of his fatigue kicking in, and he doesn't go all gas like he did against Jared. I think that's a learning experience for him. He has the jiu-jitsu to defend against anything that Jack throws in, where he tries the Joker choker or any of that. He definitely has a significant power advantage. He has a slight reach disadvantage, but that compensates because Gregory is about 2 inches taller. I like the side of Gregory Rodrigues here, placing a bet on him to win as well. It's kind of hard to pick between winning by KO or winning by decision because Jack Hermansson has proven to be very durable, but it's good enough odds for Gregory Rodrigues to win the fight. Next up, we're going to the bantamweights where we have Payton Talbott set to face off against Felipe Jungle Boy Lima, and stay away from betting this one. A lot of people have jumped off the hype train of Payton Talbott after he showed terrible wrestling ability in his last fight, but he's still a really good striker, and if he manages to keep the fight standing, it's going to be a close battle. I do believe that Felipe Lima is a dog, and he's going to get the fight down to the ground anyway, so there's good value in him, but it's still a risk, because if Payton Talbott somehow manages to keep this fight standing, or Felipe just decides, you know what, I'm going to stand up against this guy, it's going to be close. Your heart is going to be in your mouth, so Felipe Lima to get the job done, but no bet on the fight. Next up, we're going to the lightweights where we have Beneil Dariush set to face off against Renato Moicano. And cover your ears for this one. I like the side of Beneil Dariush. I know, I love Renato Moicano. His YouTube channel is amazing. You should subscribe to that. But Beneil's wrestling is really good, and that's where Renato Moicano excels. Beneil has a lot more power than Renato. Renato does have crisper boxing technique, and if Renato was to win, he's going to have to rely heavily on that, because him getting the fight down to the ground in a favorable position is highly unlikely. Reliance is placed on the fact that he can probably out-technique Dariush, land a good shot, and drop him, then work his way to the ground and get a finish there, but that's living on a prayer, because I think that Beneil Dariush just works him. He takes him down. Renato is very open to being taken down and just grinds his way out into a decision. So Beneil Dariush is the pick and the play for this one. Next up, we're going to the flyweights where we have Brandon Raw Dog Royval set to face off against Joshua the Fearless Van, and he has proven that he is indeed fearless. Big applause to Joshua Van for stepping up on short notice to face off against a guy like Brandon Royval. Brandon Royval was initially supposed to face Manel Kape. You probably already know Manel Kape pulled out. I think it's a huge step up in competition for anyone that Joshua Van has ever faced. No one is as talented as Brandon Royval. I believe Brandon Royval beats him. I think Joshua has a good performance, but it's not going to be enough. Brandon Royval, he's a much better striker than Charles Johnson. He's good in the grappling. He's just good everywhere. He's one of the cream of the crop in the flyweight, so I think he gets it done. Pick and the play is going to be Brandon Raw Dog Royval to get the job done. Next up, we're going to the co-main event where we have a flyweight championship fight between Alexandre, the Cannibal Pantoja, set to face off against Kai, Don't Blink, Cara France. And I believe it's gonna be the same as the first one. I think Alexandre Pantoja wins. I think he dominates him for the 5 rounds, takes the fight down at will. But Kai Cara France is gonna show some good submission defense, but he's going to be controlled for a matter of 5 rounds where Alexandre just gets the victory. He can't get a submission. I don't think he's going to be getting a KO. Kai Cara France, his one hope is landing that knockout blow against Alexandre, but His chin is just too good. I don't think he gets put out. Now on to the main event where we have Ilya El Matador Topuria set to face off against Charles Du Bronx Oliveira. And this one is very easy for me to pick. I think Ilya is one of the best in the UFC, if not the best in the UFC. His technique is flawless. I think he marches forward, puts those hands on Charles Oliveira. Oliveira doesn't have the greatest chin. I think he gets clipped. I think he gets dropped. Ilya follows him to the ground and puts him away. Quite simple. The odds are not great, but I love giving picks for main events. So I'm going to give you Ilya Topuria to win, Ilya Topuria to win inside the distance, and Ilya Topuria to land more significant strikes. Hopefully that gives a good enough return for you. The ladder challenge is also here, so you can click on my YouTube shorts for that. We're on week number 4, and I'm very confident that we make it to week number 5. And this has been my picks and predictions for UFC 317. Be sure to leave a like, let me know what you think of it down below, subscribe, follow me on TikTok, follow me on Twitter, support the channel on the Patreon, and I'll catch you in the next one. Until then, game time.